Now, with us tonight here in the studio is Florina Altscheiler. She is our 7 Eyewitness News legal expert. How are you? Thanks for coming in.
Hello.
First and foremost, does an airline have the legal right to take someone who's already in their seat, they've paid for the ticket, came to the airport, went through security, does the airline have the legal right to remove them from the airplane for any reason or no reason at all?
They absolutely can remove paid passengers from the flight. They have to compensate them, but they can remove them. The issue becomes one of whether or not they can physically remove the passengers.
Well, if they have the right to remove you, and they come to you and say you have to get off, and you say I'm not getting off, then what? Is it a moot point?
Well, if they ask you to leave and you refuse to leave, what they do is they call authorities, which they did in this case, appropriately so. It became a problem when the authorities who responded used what appears to be excessive force. And so it's not a question of whether or not the passenger was allowed to be removed from the flight. It's a question of whether or not the way in which he was removed was appropriate or legally actionable. And in this case, it appears that there might be a claim for battery against the airline and against those authorities, and possibly a claim for excessive force by the authorities.
Yeah, I was going to say, this gentleman now, what's his recourse? He can file a lawsuit against the airline. Would it be criminal or civil?
He could file a civil lawsuit for a claim of battery and excessive force.
So in other words, civil means he can go after them for some cash.
Civil means he can probably recover a lot more money than just 4 times the cost of his flight.
Well, mark my words, and we'll see what happens, but I'm sure you're going to see in the very near future federal legislation. They're going to go after the airlines, I think, Congress, and you watch. I wouldn't be surprised if they try and outlaw overbooking once and for all, but we'll see what happens.